So apparently people want to hear what it's like to be homeless. And, well, the first thing I say to that is it really won't do any good, because people have preconceived notions about the homeless that they're going to believe no matter what I say. People believe that I'm on heavy drugs. You know, I've got people in my comments right now accusing me of buying meth. I don't smoke meth. I smoke weed because it helps me. You know, I've got people in my comments threatening to call the police on me. I hope they do, and I hope the police kill me. I really do. I pray for death every day. That's one of the realities of being homeless. I genuinely want to die. Let me think. So, the food issue and homelessness. My body does not properly digest gluten. This is a fact. I have experimented many times over the past couple of years since I started having this problem, and it is confirmed that gluten fucks me up. But gluten is cheap. And since I can't afford to spend $14 a day buying non-gluten food, just about every other day I eat gluten. And then I wake up at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning and I have diarrhea. And I'm homeless. So I can't just run to the bathroom and do my business. When I have diarrhea, I have to get a bowl that I keep in my truck for this reason. Do my business over the bowl under a blanket so that if anybody's around, they can't see what's happening. When it's a gluten flare-up that's causing it, it's trying to think of the best way to describe this without making people sick. It's urgent. I don't have a whole lot of time to get my ass over the bowl and get myself covered up. It's liquidy, and it burns, and it hurts, and it's difficult to clean while over the bowl because there's very little room, so I have to move off of the bowl and sometimes drip over onto the blanket that I sleep on to clean myself. That happens sometimes multiple times a night. Once it starts, it's like my stomach will start hurting, and I'll have normally 5 or 10 minutes before it really gets urgent. I'll feel like I'm going to throw up while it's happening. Sometimes I will throw up. I'll get real hot and sweaty, and like my head will get fuzzy sometimes, and like I have passed out from the urgency of the bowel movements that are caused by my gluten intolerance. Also, because of that, my body isn't processing the meals that I eat. I'm only able to process about a quarter of the food that I put in my body, and the rest of it is just being expelled immediately. And so I stay malnourished. I don't drink enough fluids, so I stay dehydrated, and I kind of do that on purpose because that way I don't have to pee as often, and I don't have to worry about having pee in my truck, because that's another thing. When I wake up every morning, just like you do, I have to pee quite badly. I can't just go to the bathroom. I have to squat over a cup and then empty that cup into a bottle. That's daily for me. That's multiple times a day. It's disgusting. And you don't always, get the cup, so it splashes sometimes, and it hits my clothes, and it hits the blanket that I sit on, and so my truck smells like piss and shit and vomit, because all three things happen frequently. And as much as I clean it, there are just some things that can't fully be cleaned. And I can't just go and take my blankets to be washed, because laundromats don't like homeless people, even if we have money. So I can't go to the laundromat. When the pandemic first started, I couldn't get toilet paper. And I was having diarrhea daily, unable to get toilet paper. I was using my extra clothing to clean myself up. And as a result, now I don't have as many clothes. Now I have one dress and one tank top. No, I have two dresses. I have two dresses and one tank top and a pair of jeans and a pair of board shorts and a jacket for when it gets cold. It's hopefully going to start getting cold again soon. So being homeless, I have to deal with the elements 100% of the time. If it's cold at night, I have to have my blankets on me. I only have so many blankets, so if it's not enough to keep me warm, there's nothing I can do but be cold and pray that God will get me through the night. If I'm hot and I don't have the gas to start my truck and use my AC, there's nothing I can do but pray that God will get me through while I'm sitting here sweating to death and sweltering and unable to, think because it's so goddamn hot. Let's think. What else comes with being homeless? The constant assumptions that other people have is hard, because when people find out you're homeless, they think a couple of things. Normally, they think, well, what did she do to deserve to be homeless? Because if she had family or friends or anybody that cared about her, she wouldn't be homeless. So what did she do to piss everybody off to make herself homeless? I didn't. I just am alone because I have absolutely no social skills. I don't know how to make friends, and my family is abusive and cruel, and they won't help me. They took everything that was left for me to live off of and just left me. So, the second thing they think is that, well, she must be on drugs or an alcoholic, because nobody is going to be on the streets if they're not on drugs or on alcohol. But no, I'm not. I do smoke weed because it helps me. Oh God, it helps me. It helps me sleep. It helps calm my mind down so that I can function while I'm awake. It helps calm my nausea so that I'm not constantly gagging. And it helps calm the stomach pain from the cramps. It helps give me an appetite so that I can eat through all of the stomach issues that I'm having, because I'm sick every day. Even if I don't eat gluten the day before, I wake up sick. My body is sick because I'm malnourished and I'm dehydrated and I am not physically healthy, and I wake up every morning feeling like I'm going to throw up. And every time I eat, it fights me wanting to come back up. That's another thing that I have to deal with. I would be dealing with that even if I wasn't homeless, because that's my nutrition problem. But if I was in my apartment, I could cook for myself, and it would be easier to be gluten-free, because I can eat rice every day, and rice is gluten-free, but I can't cook it while being homeless. So, my options are very limited. And I already made a video to show y'all how limited they are when I go to the store. I used to be on drugs. I'm not gonna lie about that. I used to be on drugs back After the murder in 2009, I fucking fell apart. And from 2010 to about 2013, I was on drugs and alcohol, mostly pain medication. I took downers. If I was on drugs now, I would not be awake and coherent to be speaking with you, because my preferred drug would put me to sleep. And that's not, I smoke weed and I play games and I'm awake. That's a big difference from taking morphine and passing out for 6 hours and then waking up and taking some more morphine. Or going to the bar and drinking until I black out, and drinking again once I start being cognizant of what's going on. Which happened for years and years and years. Right after the murder that started, and it went on, So, yeah, I have addiction issues. I am an alcoholic. Even though I don't drink anymore, I am still an alcoholic because it's never fully gone. When I go to the grocery store and the line is so long that you're waiting by the wine section, my brain screams at me that I could do just one bottle of wine and it won't hurt me. I'm better now. It's been years since I've drank, so I'll be fine. And I have to remind myself, but no, I'm not fine, because I'm an alcoholic, and it only takes a little bit for me to fall back off of that train and start being an alcoholic again. And so that's a daily struggle for me. And the fact that people are constantly accusing me of being on drugs or being on alcohol just because I'm homeless, that gives me thoughts. That makes me think, well, I might as well just go ahead and do it, because they're going to assume that I'm doing it anyway. They're going to accuse me of it. They're going to spread around the rumors that I'm doing all these things. So why don't I just go ahead and do what everybody says that I'm doing? Because they're going to believe that I'm doing it anyway. And that's the mindset that I get into sometimes, and I have to argue with myself and tell myself that just because people believe it about me doesn't mean that it's true. And people believe a lot of things about me because I'm homeless, and it's not true. I've got people in my comments saying, well, if you wouldn't spend all of your money on hair dye and headphones. I bought this headset months ago. I bought this like around my birthday, which was February 23rd. And they cost $10. The hair dye also cost $10, and I've been using this same bottle for months. Like, I'm not spending thousands of dollars to go and get my hair done. When I do my hair, it's just putting a little bit of color in every time I wash it, just like a glob. I'm not using enough hair dye to be spending big money on hair dye. That's a $10 bottle that I've been using for 3 months. That's not, but because I do use it and I do keep myself presentable, people will say, well, obviously she doesn't really need help because she's spending all this money on frivolous things like hair dye and nail polish and things. So obviously she's not really suffering. That's not even, I like to keep myself looking presentable. It doesn't mean that I'm not struggling. It's just that my grandmother raised me to always try to look my best, no matter what the situation. She believed that no matter what your situation, you could keep yourself clean if you really wanted to, and I try. And it's hard when you're homeless to try to stay clean and presentable. It would be easy for me to just let myself get covered in dirt and smelling like piss and be nasty like the other homeless people that you see out on the street, and people would openly see me and see me as being homeless. Now when I walk down the street, people don't recognize me as being homeless because I try not to look like a homeless person, because I know the stereotypes, and I know the automatic thoughts that people get when they're confronted with a homeless person. And I don't want people thinking those things about me, because I'm not I'm not like all of the other homeless people out there. I am not the homeless guy drunk in his own piss sleeping behind a dumpster. That's not me. I'm literally just a crazy person trying to survive. I'm not doing strong drugs. I'm not going to say I'm not doing drugs because I do smoke weed, and I do know that some people consider marijuana to be a drug. And I'm not going to argue with you over whether it's a drug or not because, to be fair, my Zoloft is also a drug. It changes my mental state. So, yes, I do drugs. I'm trying to find the right ones that'll help me so that I can exist on my own without feeling like I'm nothing, without feeling like I'm a failure, without feeling like I don't deserve to be alive and I don't deserve to be around other people, which is what I feel like now. I feel subhuman. I feel like I'm different. I'm different from you, but I'm also different from the other homeless people, and that leaves me as just different. And I feel like I'm an alien struggling through this world, and I can't function like everybody else in the world functions, and nobody else can understand why. And I can't communicate with everybody else. And it's just so frustrating. I get exhausted just trying to defend myself as a human being. You know, and it's... Other people don't have to defend their existence, but homeless people do. Because there's always that question of, well, why can't you just take care of yourself like everybody else? And I can't explain that in a manner that people will understand. Now, if you go through and you watch 200 hours of videos of me talking about my mental state and seeing me have breakdowns, maybe you might be able to understand a little bit. But I can't explain why I'm crazy, aside from the fact that my life has been hell and it's not getting better. And being homeless, people expect so much more from me than they expect from anybody else. Like, I'm a woman. I have a period every month. I have to have tampons and pads and feminine products. And every other woman in the world needs these things every month. And people don't tell them, well, you just bought some of those last month. Aren't you spending a lot of money on those? People don't judge them for needing something to clean themselves up. But when I ask for tampons because I'm on my period and I'm fucking bleeding and I have nothing to sop it up, I get the questions of, oh, well, you must want meth. Because being homeless, I can't need things that other people need. It's just not, it's not fair. I'm expected to pull myself up and succeed when everybody is just looking down on me and attacking me and assuming things about me and then attacking me on their assumptions. And I've struggled to stop being a drug addict, but being homeless, I'll forever be called a drug addict. I almost died detoxing myself to stop doing drugs and to stop drinking. And now, it's been years since I've had those problems, and I'm still going to be accused of it every day. People drive by me in the streets, and I know that they're thinking that I'm I'm on drugs, or I'm on something, or I'm just a fucking worthless garbage human being. That's what it's like to be homeless. It's constantly feeling like everybody is staring at me and hating at me and wanting me gone. It's this constant thought that I don't belong in this world and nobody really wants me here. And it's the daily want to die, and also the daily want to push forward and get to that place where things are better that everybody keeps saying exist.